Chapter 4. Magna Carta. By the early 13th century, England had become a stronger and more organized kingdom than it had been in the centuries after the Norman conquest. And English traditions had blended into a single culture. And the kings of England held more power than ever before. But power, when pushed too far, often creates resistance. That resistance came during the reign of King John. John inherited the throne in 1199, but his rule was troubled from the beginning. He lost important territories in France, demanded heavy taxes to fund his military campaigns, and often acted without consulting his nobles. Many of his decisions were seen as unfair or arbitrary. The barons, who were powerful landowners, grew increasingly frustrated. They believed the king was ignoring long-standing customs that protected their rights. Tension reached a breaking point in 1215. A group of barons confronted John and demanded that he agree to a list of principles that would limit his authority. They wanted the king to recognize that his power had boundaries and that he was subject to the law just as they were. After months of pressure, John met the barons at a meadow called Runnymede and agreed to their terms. The document they produced became known as Magna Carta, or the Great Charter. Magna Carta was not a declaration of universal freedom. It was a practical agreement between a king and his nobles. But it contained ideas that would echo through history. It stated that the king could not impose taxes without the consent of his council. It affirmed that no free person could be imprisoned or punished without a fair trial. It insisted that justice could not be sold or denied. These principles were simple, but they challenged the idea that a ruler's power was absolute. Although John tried to break his promises soon after signing the charter, the ideas within it could not be undone. Later kings reissued Magna Carta, and over time it became a symbol of the rule of law. It influenced the development of Parliament, strengthened the idea of individual rights, and shaped the legal traditions that spread throughout the English-speaking world. Magna Carta matters because it introduced a new understanding of government. It suggested that authority must be balanced, that leaders must be accountable, and that the law stands above any single person. These ideas would influence the English Civil War, the Glorious Revolution, and the political thought of the Enlightenment. They would cross the Atlantic with the colonists and help shape the founding documents of the United States. The meadow at Runnymede was not the end of tyranny, nor was it the beginning of modern democracy. But it was a turning point. It marked the moment when the people of England insisted that power must have limits. It set a precedent that would grow stronger with each generation, and it helped create the political world that would eventually shape the modern age.